the sixth food group.
Video going. We got, do I have audio? I do. All right, here we go. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Happy Mother's Day to all mothers in the land. I have met so many kind and wonderful mothers, even stepmothers.
Smart people know that no one is safe from BO.
The morning stream. This little piggy's going to market.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to TMS. It's the morning stream for Thursday, June 1st, 2023. I'm Scott Johnson. That's Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Scott Johnson.
New month, man. New month. Woo!
New month. Brand new month.
Woo! It's a big month because we got Diablo 4 coming out today. We got Brian's trip to Vegas coming up. You got your MS 150 coming up.
That's right. We got Spiderman coming out. We got family reunion for me. A trip to we mentioned a trip to Vegas. My God, it is a jam-packed month of stuff.
Yeah, we got a brand new Transformers film, which I may be the only one excited about, but I am.
Yep. You certainly are on this show.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think it's just anything without Michael Bay at the helm I'm excited about, but also...
You know what? That's true, because Bumblebee, I did enjoy Bumblebee. Are we yet in a place where they're consistent, like as far as... I know the Bumblebee thing was kind of like new lore, new canon kind of thing.
They didn't reboot it. What they did is they went back to the 80s. And so this Bumblebee story happens in the late 80s or something. This one, I don't actually know the time frame, but in this one you get the full complement of,
Beast.
Yeah, you get the Beast from and I will unapologetically tell the world that when Beast Wars was out, I couldn't have been happier. I loved that show. It was so cool. It looks like shit now. Trust me, it's garbage looking 3D stuff. It was at the time.
I'm sure.
At the time, it was groundbreaking. Right now, it's just terrible. But I love those characters, and the Maximals are cool as hell. And even though Pete Davidson's in this, and I have some worries about his character because it's just always a little weird when he's in things.
Is Pete Davidson your male Aquafina? Is he basically like the you can't, when Pete Davidson is on screen, you can't, he's always Pete Davidson as opposed to being able to
kinda, yeah, like how she has we talked about yesterday how she'll have a performance where you'll go, oh, that's not the thing that annoys me, she's very good in this, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
he's like that too. There'll be things I'll see and I'll go, oh man, he's great, he should do more like that, and then he'll turn around and do something that's very sort of whatever his shtick is. And I don't know what this is yet. He plays Mirage. It's a car that can duplicate itself and confuse the cops or whatever. It's set in 1994, so I think this tracks as a actual sequel to the late 80s one. Yeah.
So sequel to Bumblebee, prequel to the other one.
Correct. Yeah. And I think they're not rewriting everything because everything looks a lot alike. We got similar characters and everything, but I just think these directors have better takes than Michael Bay. Michael Bay just threw shit at the wall,
Yeah, I feel like it, and they just have to write it so carefully to explain why nobody remembers the previous Transformers when the Michael Bay movies, when you get to the original films that these are prequels of, like, oh yeah, there were some ginormous robots that fought on.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that going on. As far as I'm concerned, if they consider this a reboot, I'm all for it. It's fine. But I love me some Transformers, and like I always say, in the right hands, anything works. So let's see how this goes. It's not the same director as Bumblebee, but it's
okay. But it's still a different director.
New director, yeah. Same writer though as Bumblebee, so that's cool. So we'll see.
Still, as you are, and as I'm sure most of our audience is, I'm still hopeful for Indiana Jones, even though initial reviews weren't stellar. You're pulling up Rotten Tomatoes right now.
I'm going to see if it's moved at all.
Adjusted, see if the needle's moved.
Let's see if the needle is moved on that movie.
I bet it won't, because there haven't been other releases of the film since the that pre-release last month.
I think you're probably right. That's probably all we. Oh, let's see. It's actually gone down a little. Let's see.
Is it really? Oh God! So really, the needle did move, but just not the way we'd like.
Yeah, only a couple of new reviews. So put it at 49. It was at 53 last I checked.
Okay.
So that's pretty low.
What was Crystal Skull in that list? What's
Crystal Skull was higher than this at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
let me pull that up. Let me confirm that. And that's of course with full reviews, so maybe that's what changes. But the Crystal Skull came with oh, geez, that had a 77.
What?
I know, dude.
Yeah, that actually feels like it's been
something's effed.
Yeah, exactly. Like somebody's playing games the other direction.
Yeah, something's effed up there because that movie really, really sucked. But anyway, listen to this. This review made me sad because I don't think it's just kind of a wrong thing to say. This review, which is negative, says, "This isn't the goodbye which Harrison Ford deserves." We're not saying goodbye to Harrison Ford. We're just saying goodbye to Indiana Jones. Okay?
Exactly.
Harrison Ford's still got some golf course to crash his plane into in the future. It'll all be fine.
Plenty of that. Yes, exactly.
Anyway, when is that coming out? We got
June 20.
Oh, 30th. It says. Looks like
30th.
Well,
okay.
wide release 30th. It might be select earlier, but.
And the week before that Wednesday, we get finally the new Marvel TV show, Secret Invasion. Finally, like nothing since She-Hulk last fall or summer, whenever that was.
Too long. They've been working on that. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse sitting at 95%. Oh.
Cool. All right. Good.
You're gonna have a good time tonight, Brian.
I am, provided I can stay awake. I had a little bit of the old insomnia last night, Scott. Woke up at 1.
I did this exact thing. Tell me more.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tried to get back to sleep. Sat there for half an hour laying in bed, like, all right, let's just focus on my breathing, not think about anything else. And it was really knee pain. I went on a long walk yesterday.
I love knee pain. I don't like the auto-tune as much, but I really like knee pain for it. He's great. Anyway.
I'm on a boat. Yeah. But the knee pain is making it hard for me to go to sleep. So I went out in the other room, put ice on my knee, sat there in the dark for a little while, said, well, I'm wide awake. Let's watch the finale of Barry, because I'd caught up to everything but the actual final episode.
Sure.
And that didn't help.
Did they stick to the landing without spoiling anything? Do you think they stuck it?
It was a...
Because I'm nervous.
Good ending. Yeah, you know what? I'll say this. It was a good ending. It was a good final season. Maybe it wasn't kind of the thing I was hoping for all the Barry and his people in his orbit.
Yeah.
But because you got Fuchs, you got NoHo, you got Sally, you got Kusino. Anyway, it was the very final thing you see is oh man, yeah, I want to be careful. I'm going to be very careful. It's jarring because it's true.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Jarring because it's true. Interesting.
Jarring because it's true.
I'll take I like that mysterious review. I like it.
Yeah. I'm not so sure. We're about halfway through. We haven't finished the Ted Lasso season finale. I love Ted Lasso, but I'm just not sure I enjoyed this last season as much as the previous two seasons.
I've heard middling things about the final half of that season.
Yeah, it's a bummer because I really wanted to, love Ted Lasso going out on a high, and it didn't feel like it did for me as much.
Well,
and then we're still working our way through Succession.
Nice. That show's good and addicting, though, isn't it? Succession.
Yeah, it is. That final season so far is really good, and it's already going places. Like a thing that I thought wouldn't happen until later in the final season seems to have happened, and it's probably not something that other people were expecting. So it's not a spoiler for me to say that it was.
Well, I just finished season 1, so I'm just rooting for Cameron.
Oh wow!
I'm rooting for Cameron. I don't care where things go. I don't know what happens. I just want Cameron to win.
Sure.
Yeah. I love that guy.
I just keep waiting for his scene. Kendall's he's gonna keep calling. He's gonna keep calling me. He's gonna tell me to come over. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Kendall's gonna keep calling. I'm not gonna do it.
And then he does it. And also, Kieran Culkin, I really like your work, but in season 1, you did something nasty to a window, and I never quite got over that. So,
Kieran, the writers for that show must love writing for his character.
Yeah. I forgot his character's name.
Roman.
Oh, Roman. That's
Roman.
it.
Yeah,
Roman.
Yeah. He consistently delivers the best lines of the show, and he delivers them so fantastically.
And I know people, I'm always bringing up Fargo whenever I can, but Fargo season 2, Kieran Culkin's character, which is short-lived. It's not really a spoiler to say that. I guess it kind of is, but
years ago. It's years ago.
It's years ago. 2015 that came out, the greatest year ever of entertainment. But anyway, his role in that was incredible, and I remember at the time thinking, well, let's go with Kieran Culkin. This is a whole new world. Like, he's really good in this. Holy crap, what's next? And I felt like it took a really long time to see what was next. I'm sure he did other stuff, but Succession feels like, when we finally got him again, which I guess was
a big gap between those two things.
I guess it was only like a year later or 2 years later that Succession started, because we're 4 seasons into that. So something like that. But anyway, there you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Brian's
there's
non-review.
Brian's finale reviews.
Nice.
Still waiting on the finale for Succession, but so far the final season's been great.
Do you think, is it stupid to wish for a NoHo Hank spinoff? Is that a bad idea?
No, I don't think it's stupid at all. He's such a fantastic character that I want that. He feels like he's got. I mean, Fuchs is great, Cousineau is great, Sally is great. But out of all of those, again, that group that's closest to Barry, he does feel like the character that I would love to know more about.
Yeah. Let's get a Better Call Saul spinoff going of NoHo Hank. I would love that. I'd be super into it.
Yep.
All right, couple quick things. Oh, reminder, the morning forum, we'll give it out on Monday. This week's question is how many hours do you game each week? Perfect thing to remind people about on Diablo 4 launch day, or at least early access day for those who already bought the game. Go to frogpants.com/themorningforum and fill it out. Your answers don't matter as much as you making sure you enter, because then you get a Frog Pants fun pack in the mail. All right, you get a prize if you are chosen from that list, but it's also fun to look at that data. So get in there, check it out, frogpants.com/themorningforum. I got a quick question about a thing that happened.
Before we get off the morning forum, where do you, because next time we talk about it, you'll have seen the data, and you haven't looked at the data on
I haven't yet.
What people's gaming hour habits are. Where do you think people are going to land, our audience?
There's a 9, I think, what did I say, 10 or more was the final one?
Yeah.
I think a lot of that.
I think so too. I predict more than 50% in the 10 hours or more per week.
Yeah, there's been some thought in my head. I didn't give it enough granularity, and I should have said 80 to 100 hours or something.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. There's going to be people in there. I know there are some dedicated WoW raiders in our group that.
Yeah. They have to give the time, and for some Diablo folks, that's going to change overnight today.
Oh God. Yeah.
Their number. So.
Right.
So anyway, get in there.
Cool.
I want to send you guys some free stuff. RK. So I said RK. I meant okay.
RK.
I don't know why I said RK.
Yeah.
What does RK stand for? Really yellow. I don't know. Here's the deal. I'm in a store parking lot. Do you have Smiths where you are? The Smiths?
No, but I've heard of them. I've seen them. I've been to them.
Okay.
During my travels across this great land.
That's right. There's one in Vegas we went to. That was pretty fun. That was the one where I went and saw the worst bathroom ever. It was in Vegas, and that guy went, "God damn it!" That was that guy.
Okay.
But anyway, we're in the store parking lot of a local Smiths, and locals will know what I'm talking about. They're very nice, regular chain owned by, I think Kroger owns them now, so they're kind of expanding and all that. Anyway, I'm in the parking lot. I've had a few experiences in parking lots that don't make any sense to me.
Yes.
I got a new one. I'm putting I'm putting the cart back because I am a good citizen.
Oh yeah.
I don't just leave shit or push it and let it go. Right?
Whatever it takes. Yeah, you take the cart back, even if it's in another aisle, whatever. You do the right thing.
Right. There are two things you do. You pick up poo when your dog drops it on the walk.
Yes.
And you put the cart back in the grocery store parking lot. Those are the two things you do as a bare minimum baseline default. Okay?
Because we live in a society here.
We live in a society. So I'm doing that. I'm putting the cart back. and I'm going to push
Put
it into
before the
place.
horse? Just kidding.
I'm pushing it in, and I'm trying to make it. I'm doing trying to make it so the thing's compressed and not sticking out in the road because they hadn't cleaned, they hadn't come and cleared it in a while. So I was doing that and I was working it, and this guy walks by, and he's wearing jorts. Okay, and this may not have any.
Already, I'm cringing. Okay,
It may have no bearing on what happened. I don't know. Like the jorts are just what he was wearing, so I don't want to make that seem like a big deal. But jorts are a little suspect. I don't always like them. For some reason, John Jagger has me wearing jorts in the wrestling thing, the Frogpiss wrestling
Is
thing.
he really?
Yeah, and he's kept them
Right.
because he just thinks it's funny. But I never wear jorts.
I
Ever.
need to go and watch those. I feel horrible that I haven't watched any of those.
Oh, you should. You
I
and I have been
know,
kicking ass in that thing. It's a
have
big,
we really? Okay,
Oh,
great.
hell yeah.
I'm glad to hear it.
big time TMS stuff going on. The big upsets have been like. What was it? Right now, my character's being accused of colluding with the enemy or something.
Oh, so there's even, it's not just the wrestling part. There's all the stuff that goes around the wrestling.
All of it, all the stories and
You're gonna regret the day you that sort of
yeah,
thing.
oh yeah. And John's commentary it puts all that into perspective while we're watching the matches, and it's like the game also has this weird thing where actual WWE people will show up and interfere as if it was part of the deal. So you might be
Okay.
it's Brian, I forget your nickname. Crap. But you'll be fighting Randy the Butcher Jordan. That's what he's
Sure.
called. And he's dressed
Okay.
he's dressed like a butcher when he's in the ring. When he's out of the ring, he's dressed like a chef. So it's like this, it's the whole thing. But anyway, you guys are in there wrestling and fighting, and all of a sudden John Cena or somebody will show up on the outside of the ring just staring at you. And then he'll get in and fight and join the fray and then kind of cause the thing to go a certain way or whatever. And then everyone's like,
Oh, that's hilarious.
why is John Cena getting involved? And John Jagger has done this in a way that it all makes sense, and there's a whole story with everything. So it's pretty great.
I think it feels like it should be Chris Jericho, but that's fine. That's fine.
Sometimes it's I forgot his name. I think it might be just current roster wrestlers, and I'm not.
Yeah.
And John Cena's on the cover of that game, so I think that's the only reason he's even in it because I don't think he's
Sure,
wrestling now
sure.
anymore. I don't think. I think he shows up once in a while. It'll be like,
He's too busy with
John
all that
Cena.
Peacemaker stuff.
yeah, he's a busy boy. He's got work to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so we're in the parking lot there.
Yes. Sorry.
No, it's all good. And as I'm pushing these in, shoving it into the place, guy walks by in jorts and goes, "Squandered opportunity," and then keeps walking.
Oh no! Not another one of these. What
Yeah.
did he mean?
So I turn around and he said "squandered opportunity." It wasn't like I misheard. You
Yeah.
know, it's not like frog piss or cheese bucket or something
fart
like that.
gas or
Yeah, none of that. No fart
explosive
gas,
tip or
no
whatever.
explosive tip. It was exactly squandered opportunity.
Could it be, Scott, though, the Raylan Givens thing? You mishear one person, it's probably on them. You go through your whole life mishearing a dozen people, maybe it's you.
Okay, so this is a fair point, and I thought about this, and I do have this thing.
Yeah.
I should probably take in an ADHD proper test, because I do have this thing where people will say things, and it's not that I don't hear. Kim will say something. It's not that I don't hear her say it. My hearing is fine.
Uh-huh.
It's that my translation of what she said gets funky. She'll say something like, "Do you feed the dogs?" And I'll say, "Fairy hogs." To me in my head, I just hear it the way I kind of want to hear it. It's weird.
Or it's more that I'll take the dogs out or something like that, right? It's you're hearing her say feed the dogs and your brain saying dogs.
Yeah.
Take the dogs for a walk.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the dogs for a
I'll
walk.
take the dogs
Yes,
for a
fine.
walk. She's
Yeah.
like, "That's not what I asked." It's that kind of thing. And I
Yes.
think that may be a play here. I'm totally willing to admit that.
I can't say that I don't see it here every once in a while.
Oh, of course. Of course. I do it on shows. I have, it's a shock it doesn't happen even more. So I looked at him and I said, "Excuse me." Or I said, "Excuse me?" More of a question.
Yeah.
And he just shook his head and kept walking. Shook his head and kept
Oh,
walking.
really? Not even
I'm
worth the
not
time
talking
for
to
me
this
to
guy.
explain it.
Not going to tell him what squandered opportunity means. So now I don't know. I got another mystery.
Squandered opportunity.
So what do you think that is? I got a cart. Let's reassemble the aspects. I got a cart.
What are you wearing?
What was I wearing?
Sounds like my obscene phone call script. But
I was wearing that shirt.
I say it just like that, by the way, when I call somebody. What are you wearing?
I was wearing a short sleeve shirt with it was a button down though. It's what I had on in the show yesterday. I can't remember how it looks.
Oh, yeah, it was like a gray.
Gray, yeah, but it had a little bit of plaid, or not plaid, but like a pattern.
But yeah, striped. Okay.
And I was wearing regular shorts.
I only remember this because I had to look at I was looking at your core daily, and like your, it's like, oh yeah, that's the same shirt he wore. Like he's got him in both, both.
Yeah,
thumbnail shots.
I got it. What I do sometimes is I will pre-take my photo for.
I heard you have one of you eating an apple.
Yeah, I did that today.
Too.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I sometimes do it the day before and then realize, oh shit, I'm wearing the same shirt in this shot, so it's stupid.
Nobody's paying attention to that.
No, I don't think anyone noticed.
He just paid attention to it.
Yeah, it's all good. So anyway.
Okay.
I'm just.
So
what else?
Button-up shirt,
right?
Plaid shirt, kind of thing.
Cargo shorts and a pair of Reebok running shoes.
Okay.
Oh, and a hat. I had one of these on. I had one of my only hats that fit me in the world. Under Armour hats.
Your Under Armour hats.
Yeah.
All right. So, what opportunities were available to you?
Did I squander?
That you squandered? Like, does he think you should have taken that cart and zing, send it down the aisle, down the parking lot aisle at high speed?
Do like a full Jackass intro moment, where
something like that? Yeah.
No.
Squandered opportunity.
That's actually not bad. I don't mind that theory. That's pretty good.
I don't think so. I don't think that's something that somebody assumes somebody else is going to do. Like, I can't believe you didn't just take that shopping cart and fire it down the parking lot at high speed.
So this guy was probably mid 40s, if that has any impact as far as what generational impact any of this has.
What else is he wearing? So jorts, what's going on up top?
Up top we got a salmon colored what do you call it? A polo shirt, like a polo.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if it had the logo or not, but it was like short sleeve collar, salmon looking shirt.
Cowboy
jorts.
Hat?
No cowboy hat.
Okay, I don't know why I was visualizing this guy with a cowboy hat and jorts.
Sandals looked like, no socks in the sandals, but it looked like my Keens, a little bit like those open toe Keen type sandals.
Yep.
And he was walking. Well, I didn't follow him all the way, so I'm not sure which car I turned at, but it looked like it was this new, the new Bronco, the orange Bronco.
Oh yeah.
It looked like he was pulling
futuristic looking thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Underpowered apparently by all
Squandered
accounts.
opportunity. Dang it.
See, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
So once again, we open it to the audience. No one in the chat has a good idea.
Okay. All right. I have a theory.
Okay, go. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. All right.
All right. He had headphones on and he was on a call with somebody and he was replying to them. And when you said, excuse me, he didn't want to take the time to explain, I'm on a call. He just shook his head and kept walking like, nope, not talking to you.
This isn't bad. This is actually pretty good because I don't recall seeing the earbuds, but they could have been there. Or it could have been just a one-off Bluetubey.
Bluetubey, yes.
Sure. A Bluetubey in his one ear or something. That's entirely possible. And then me going, excuse me, is like him going, freaking not you.
No, it's not you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and he's having like a real business crisis moment or something on his phone.
Right, exactly. Some one of his employees just completely blew a great sales potential lead and squandered.
Damn, dude. I think you may have just Sipowicz this. Well done.
It's a bummer because it, not having anything to do with you means it's a very boring.
It's
comes
super
out to
lame.
be a very boring answer. But
it's very boring. At least with like explosive tip and stuff, these people are looking at me.
Yes, right.
Rolling
down their window. Focus.
Right. Yeah. In this case, he's just walking. So I think Brian is on to something. All right.
I drove somebody yesterday. We're a 22-minute ride, right, all the way from my part of town to the other side of downtown Denver, and things are quiet. I've got a playlist that really is just playing like classic rock, Heart, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Def Leppard, kind of that sort of thing. So like the harder edge, but not like it doesn't go into the speed metal or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like mainstream hard rock from that era.
Mainstream hard rock, etc.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I hear the one in the back go, geez. And I'm like, I turn the music down. I'm like, are you all right? Everything okay? She's like, Oh, I'm sorry. I have headphones in. I'm watching a game show.
Oh, so so it wasn't you and your music choices.
It wasn't me and my music, but it was a silent ride for like, 21 minutes. We were a block away from where I'm dropping her off, and she goes, "Ah, geez." Like,
It sounds
what
like
happened? What?
it's something you did. I love it.
Yeah, it was like a new song just came on. I can't even remember what it was, but a new song just came on, and she, was like, "Oh, I can skip it if you want," but no, she's just watching a game show. I don't know what you like. Ah, geez, Ken Jennings, how could you miss that question?
She didn't get into detail about what show it was, did she?
Oh,
What
it
show?
was Indiana's Ipswich Clans.
Oh, if she did that, you would have. That
I
would
would
have
have.
been a
I
moment.
would have tipped her. You kidding me?
Yeah, she gets
Absolutely.
a tip today. That's amazing. Well, that's
Exactly.
great. I was, but not a weirdo. You don't have enough weirdos, man, with your driving.
I know. I know. It's been great. I've got. I've been having some luck. I had that same ride, by the way, as I'm dropping her off. So I've got to cross Colfax Avenue, which is this rush hour, busy, busy, busy. I see a window. I have to turn left, go into the side street, turn left, and there's a guy crossing the street. And so I stop and wait for him. He's crossing parallel to Colfax. So,
Yeah.
so I've got my window. I've got to get out my butt out of the oncoming traffic, but there's time, and he looks at me like he's expecting me to be pissed off that he's going to walk in front of me, and he makes eye contact with me, and he doesn't stop making eye contact with me as he's walking past, because I'm not stopping staring at him too, because he's staring at me.
Oh my
So the
gosh.
whole time I'm waiting for him to cross, he's got his headphones and his sunglasses, and he's just following, looking at me the whole time, like he's expecting me to roll down my window and go, "Get out of the way!"
Wow.
And I'm like, "I'm just waiting for you to cross." I mean, it would have been nice if you would have waited 2 seconds. You have right away, but it would have been nice if you would have waited 2 seconds so I could get my butt out of traffic. But you had right away, and you've earned that right as a pedestrian.
You were like Maggie Simpson in that weird baby with the eyebrows going by.
Totally. It was exactly that. Like just this just two staring at each other, deadlocked in a staring contest. Who's gonna flinch?
Did he say squandered opportunity as he crossed the street?
He didn't.
Oh, that's a
These
shame.
big old headphones, these big old beats on his ears. And
Oh yeah,
sunglasses.
that's what I wore this morning, looking like a big weirdo out there. Had my big old
you?
fatties on. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. I like a little noise isolation when I can take the dog around the park.
Oh, for
You know?
sure. That's what I love about the new AirPods Pro.
Yeah.
Is the sound isolation is boss. And then if I'm around other people, or if I know the path is busy, there could be bikes, I turn it on to transparency, and it works great too.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I have a pair of earbuds that do that from Raycon, and then I have what do I? Oh, and the brand of the big fatties I got are the Anchor sound cores,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
which were so much cheaper than any other version of these.
Yeah. I hear great things about those.
Yeah, they're great. So much cheaper, great sound. I love them. They're great. Highly recommend them. Okay, quick text before we move on to today's
Yes.
Read This with Amy. Actually, maybe I'll save this because we won't enough time with her. You know what?
Sure.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to save this text for the end of the show.
All right. Sounds
And
good.
instead, we're going to call Amy right now and get this
I'm
going.
going to start creating my post on quicktms.li for Read This for June 1st.
Yeah, you guys, we do that every day, so you have this little extra bonus thing. You know,
Exactly.
So don't miss out. Don't skip out.
Don't walk past this staring at it uncomfortably.
Don't miss this opportunity.
One of the things that I enjoy also is reading.
Well, look what we got here. It's our favorite reading buddy, Amy Robinson, also known as Red Fraggle 3, wherever she goes on the internet. Amy, welcome back to the show.
Well, hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
How are you? And
It's
how
good
was
to have you back.
Yeah, how was graduation? How'd that go for?
Oh, you
the
know
boy?
what? It went really great. I was like, after talking with you guys, I was like, man, have I made a mistake by forcing my kid to go to this? Am I making myself miserable?
Yeah.
No, they had it was actually a pretty small graduating class because the school is a relatively new school. It's a STEM school. So they only had about 250 kids graduating. And so we had it in it was almost like a hall of a convention center. In fact, it was the hall of a convention center. So imagine, the area where you would have like a panel or whatever at a con. It was like that. And then they started at 10 o'clock, like bam, right on the money. They started playing Pomp and Circumstance at 10 o'clock on the dot, and they were done by 11. It was amazing.
Wow, that's
Wow.
the
It was
way to do it. That
That's
is like
efficient.
really well
the
done.
unicorn,
Yeah.
the unicorn of graduation ceremonies.
Yeah, I would
Right?
have
Yeah.
loved that for my kids. All three of them sucked. They were all too long and horrible and sweaty and hot and lame. That's amazing. Do you think it's because you live in Georgia and Georgia is known for being hot, sticky, and gross? And you just are like, get in, get out, folks. We know you've got to get back to your AC. Let's get out of here. Like that?
Oh no. In fact, I think some of the bigger schools are actually in the arena proper. So yeah, no, I think it was just because we had the benefit of being at a smaller school. And so they were able to like get us in, get us out. And they were also like everyone in our county, which, you know, Georgia has a lot of counties, but you know, we have Gwinnett is one of the largest counties in Georgia, and every single one of Gwinnett schools had their graduation ceremony at that same arena. So they were very like, you could go on their website and see all the different time slots for any different school or whatever.
Some of those graduations are actually even still going on now, 3 days later.
Yeah.
The ceremonies
Yeah,
have
well,
not ended.
Yeah.
They might be, because I remember, you know, some parents were talking about like, oh, what day are you? You know, that kind of thing.
Randall Jepson. And then gets up there, takes his thing. Oh, they go on forever, dude. I hate him. Anyway, well, I'm glad you're back and that you survived
They were really
it.
snappy, and the kids got to do the cute thing where they threw their hats and everything. And yeah, it was great. It was
cool.
good stuff. And we all got to take pictures with my goofy kid, and then he probably went off to, you know, several graduation parties and whatnot.
You
So,
should post these
yeah,
pictures so I can
good-
see what
good
you're.
times.
I've never seen this kid. I want to see what he looks like. You should post it somewhere. I want to
Oh
see.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to see your
I posted
progeny.
a bunch of them to Instagram, but yeah, I'll send you the link to him, because he's very tall. He's not tall by your standards, but to me he's tall. He's as tall as Chuck. He's
I have
6'1",
very
so-
very high standards for height. So
Yes,
I'm
Yeah.
we're very vertically high standards.
right.
awesome.
I would
Yeah.
like to lodge a complaint.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh. I
gosh.
used to have
Okay.
music for that.
All right.
Let me see if
What
I
did
can
I
find
do?
it.
What did I do this time?
Let's see.
No, neither one of you guys. I'm just
That's the complaint
Really,
music.
There we
would have been
go.
funny if you would have played that over her complaint.
Yeah, I know, right over a complaint. then she'd have two complaints, Brian. Two.
Right, exactly.
Anyway.
So, yeah, I would like to complain on behalf of y'all's gender.
Oh, all right.
But like, this is one of those, like, I'm talking to two guys who I know would never do this, but yeah. So as I know Scott has seen, we got our pottery wheel and it's all installed down there and everything. And I'm like, oh, this will be fun. I'll just open up a stream and then people can come and hang out with me and watch me throw pottery. And I haven't quite figured out a regular time to do this or whatever, but it seems like there's a smattering of interest. So
Sure.
I figured, sure, whatever. So I open up my Twitch stream and I've got like Claire is following me and Bob Bats is following me. You know, it's just the usual suspects. And I've literally only told the Tadpool about this.
Right.
You know, I haven't like put it out to the world.
Right. You've
at
just
large.
announced it in the Discord and said, hey, I'm doing a stream if you guys want to come watch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I get on and I see I have one viewer and I was like, oh, hello, how's it going? You know, and person throws me, you know, it's Twitch. So they throw me some bits or whatever
Sure.
it's called.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And then they said outfit check. And I was like, oh, haha. Cause you know, I mean, I'm in my overalls and covered with mud.
Yeah, I
and
mean, this
just
is
like,
your pottery. This is not, you're not going to wear your sequined evening gown to this.
Exactly. And I mean, I look a mess, right? Like I have no makeup on, my hair's piled up on top of my head. It's a messy business throwing pots. And so I was like, oh, haha, yep, these are my favorite overalls. And I should also mention, you guys know me, you've met me, you know, I'm chubby. And I've got the way that I have my phone. I just have it set up on my phone right now. It's kind of propped up there. It's not the most flattering angle. You can kind of see a little bit of my belly, or you know, this is because that's I use a lot of that to get body weight into throwing the pots, which is to my
Oh,
advantage.
sure.
I get that.
But anyway,
sense.
so not a flattering angle. I don't look good. I'm like clearly not there for people to look at me and tell me how cute I am.
Right.
I'm like, no, look at the clay. And then this person says, legs check, $30.
Oh God.
$30?
I went, ew, no, sir. This is not that kind of stream.
This is the same dude, by the way, same guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I only had one viewer the whole time.
Oh man.
So, and I'm going, and I would have banhammered him, but my hands are covered in clay. So I'm like, okay, I didn't think I would need a mod because, like, I mean, who the hell am I, right? Like, I'm not gonna get like, hundreds of viewers in there where I need a mod with a band hammer. Oh no, I need a mod with a band hammer because why
Apparently
are
so.
men?
Yeah, you know what? It's okay. So obviously, it's easy to look at this and go, men, which I know you're not doing because you're not lumping everybody
Right,
into
of
that.
course. Yeah.
But there is more of this. Okay, take it from somebody who has now done a full month and a week on YouTube. I've switched over. At first as an experiment, now long term. I get so much less weird shit over here.
Oh, really? Then on Twitch,
I get
Interesting.
more engagement. I've had more views. I get more people in here for TMS in the morning. I get a bunch of other reasons why it's been a good move, but I don't get any of the spam. I don't get ASCII penises. I don't get all that stuff I used to get on Twitch all the time. And I'm not saying the Twitch isn't like,
You're throwing out a challenge to the tadpole to send you
yeah, I
ASCII
realize
pieces,
that.
by the way.
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very good point.
Well,
Although
I would love to stream here on YouTube, but I
Yeah.
don't have enough followers, you see.
Oh, you need a
which
certain
is
number
like,
to be able to do it.
yeah, and
Yeah.
same thing on here come the ASCII penises
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that.
I like that Dr. Calhoun is the first one.
yeah.
Yeah,
What the
right.
heck? Look,
And I
the-
don't
the-
even know. I don't even know what biocount just
do you
is.
forget your Hippocratic
Amish
oath?
Overlord, how do I know it was a guy? Because guys are the only ones who do that.
Women don't do this. I'm
I
sorry.
have been
We
hit
all
on.
know. Come
I
on
have,
now. We all know
I
it
have
was a guy.
been
Yeah.
I have been complimented and hit on by a lesbian before. It is not that icky, like I'm entitled. I put in money and out comes sex.
Yeah.
thing.
But also
It's-
leg
it's a
check. Like who
dude.
says leg check or
Be
whatever? Who says
Right,
that?
right.
You freaking
Yeah.
weirdos. So I'm not saying I'm not trying to slam Twitch with this. I'm just saying there's a cultural difference going on over there. And a lot of these are like 13-year-old boys. I don't know why they don't go. What's that one? The Twitch based all their like bits off of and everything. Chatterbait. Is that it? Chatterbait. Don't go rushing over there to see this, everybody. If you're at work or whatever, don't go there.
Yeah.
But basically, it's Twitch for naked people doing all
Right.
sorts of debauchery.
Yeah.
He should just go there. Why
Sure.
didn't you go
I've
there?
got plenty of leg checks.
That was exactly my point. I was like, do I look like OnlyFans to you?
Yeah.
Like
Right,
I'm
exactly,
a
yeah.
46-year-old chubby lady covered in mud, like which I
might
realize
be-
the covered in
might
mud
be his
part is
thing.
not, but
Yeah,
but
that's his
still,
kink.
I'm like, no. And then after I even said, I was like, ew, no, sir, this is not that kind of stream. He didn't leave. He still just hung around. And finally, I was like, "Oh no, my phone's gonna die." And
Yeah.
I clicked
Yeah,
it.
and you're
I
probably like,
killed the stream.
good, couldn't happen soon enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's my complaint. But I mean, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, sounds like you were on the internet." I know, I get it. But first of all, this shows a number of things. Number one, it doesn't matter how provocatively we're dressed or not. In my case, it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter what the circumstances are. Women are gonna receive this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, everywhere. It happens all over the place. Women get like accosted at gas stations and people don't believe that this happens.
Well, the
Believe
reason
it
they don't believe it. So here's something I learned the hard way. I used to be that way where I'd be like, how is this happening? I never see this. And then it dawned on me. Just because you're not doing it doesn't mean it doesn't happen, A, and B, you're not there.
Mhm.
So how would I know if it happens or doesn't happen? And how do I know? I believe the women around me who tell me it happens. And sure enough, you know what I always, this is so weird. I've talked about this before when I drive like by a gas station. I see a bunch of kids out skateboarding and I just want to go scare them. It's a weird instinct. I don't know why I have it. We've talked to Wendy about it. This doesn't make any sense. But I'm always in this mode of like, I just want somebody out there in public to try something and I want to witness it. I don't want them to do it, but if they do it, I want to witness it. Like them catcalling somebody or creeping up on some girl, something. So that I can, I need to pop off. I want to like go.
It's funny you say that, Scott. So what I said to Chuck later when I told him the story, I said, so the lesson here, I was like, Scott seemed like he was genuinely interested in watching me throw pottery. So what I need to do is find a time when Scott's available and then Scott can come watch my stream and then some creep comes in there and then Scott will kick his ass. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, I would only be able to do it virtually, but I'd love I have and I think this is true of Brian. All of us would leap to defend our sisters and friends.
Without a doubt.
100%.
Exactly.
You guys are all like our sisters. It would piss us off to no end. But it just never seems to happen in front of me. And I just want to like I want to jump through your stream and grab whoever that was. The problem is I jump through your stream and find out it's some 12-year-old turd whose parents aren't paying attention to what he's doing online. And then I'm going to be like, oh, well, that's a systematic problem. And then my brain will go different places. But I just want to smack somebody who's being an ass. I just want to do it. I want to get physical. What's that about? Why is that a thing?
My son gets so tired of me like telling him this stuff. And like I send him TikToks all the time of crap like this happening. I was like, if you ever do this, I will absolutely wallop you in the back of the head. Like I don't care how tall you are. I'll get a step stool and go up there and hit you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's good. Anyway. I think I appreciate the discussion. I think it's a good one to have once in a while. So you should do it. The point is, you should do it more. I didn't know when you went live, or I would have gone. I would love to have seen that.
That would have been cool. I would have loved to have seen it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so like I say, I need to find. I'm gonna talk to you guys because I need to find a time when's good. And you know, I mean, I was kind of hoping, I think Dunaway was actually live at the time. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Cause I know we follow each other. Right. And I was like, maybe he'll send me a raid or something. That would be fun.
Sure.
But yeah, like I'll find a time and actually, you know, set something up and
we'll get more tadpolers in there and then we can screw. Yeah. Then we can chase those bastards out of there when they show up.
Yeah. Just bring the band hammer and all that. And then you guys can watch me, you know, play with clay. It's fun.
Yeah.
So, all right. But we have a book.
We have a book. Oh, man. Yeah. We got to get to this book. Let's do it. We got a clip for this book. Do you want to set anything
12
up?
seconds. Tell us about the book.
Yeah. So this book is, it's a post-apocalyptic, I would call it speculative fiction. More so. It was classified as sci-fi, but I would actually call it speculative fiction. And it's kind of scarily prescient.
I like that kind of fiction, so I bet this is something I'll like. Here we go. I'm hitting play.
Stars casting their cool, pale, glinting light. You couldn't see so many stars when I was little, my stepmother says to me. She stands still and small, looking up at the broad sweep of the Milky Way. She and I have gone out after dark to take the washing down from the clothesline. The day has been hot, as usual, and we both like the cool darkness of early night. There's no moon, but we can see very well. The sky is full of stars. The neighborhood wall is a massive looming presence nearby. I see it as a crouching animal, perhaps about to spring, more threatening than protective. But my stepmother is there, and she isn't afraid. I stay close to her. I'm 7 years old. I look up at the stars in the deep black sky. Why couldn't you see the stars? I ask her. Everyone can see them. City lights, she says. Lights, progress, growth, all those things we're too hot and too poor to bother with anymore. There are city lights now, I say to her. They don't hide the stars. She shakes her head. There aren't anywhere near as many as there were. Kids today have no idea what a blaze of light cities used to be, and not that long ago. I'd rather have the stars, I say. The stars are free. She shrugs. I'd rather have the city lights back myself. The sooner the better. But we can afford the stars.
She sounds like Gina Torres.
So the narrator's name is Lynn Thigpen.
That is
and
definitely not
if
Gina
you don't know
Torres.
her by name, if you looked her up on IMDb, you'd go, "Oh yeah, I know her. She's a great character actress." I was immediately thrown back to my childhood, wherein she was the host of the children's game show "Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?"
Oh, I know her.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
awesome. She's in all sorts
is
of cool
awesome.
stuff.
Yeah.
She was in oh no, I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, she's great. I like her a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. And that was one of the more comforting and unsettling all at the same time parts of this book. The name of the book is Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. And it was written, rather, I should say it was published in, I believe, 1993, 98, sometime around in there. So in the 90s. Yep, 93. And it is oddly prescient. Like, it starts next year. It starts in 2024.
2024. Okay.
And
as far as the timeline, interesting. All right.
yep. And because due to, the shrinking middle class, climate change, economic collapse, all sorts of other things, we're in a post-apocalyptic hellscape. Most people who are in what we would now call middle class, or rather what they call middle class, we would have called living in poverty.
Yeah.
But now if you get to live in a walled neighborhood or something like that, then you're considered rich. And they live in a walled community. They've been kept safe the whole time. Her father's a minister, and then things start going wrong even within their walled community.
This sounds great.
So,
this sounds like my jam. I'm into it.
It does. It would be, and it is very dark. I'm not gonna lie. I had a hard. This is a hard read. It is not. This is not an easy pick it up and flip through it in a weekend at the beach book. This book takes some
heavy
work.
stuff.
Indeed. And it's actually a 2-book series. The name of the series is Earthseed. And this is what's really super creepy. In the sequel, which is called Parable of the Talents, there is a presidential candidate who runs on the slogan, "Make America Great Again."
Oh, lovely. What year was
swear,
that? What year was it,
was
published? Was it a long time ago?
1998, I think.
Oh, geez. I mean, technically, who had Reagan ran on a similar slogan or something? So it's possible it's like a thing of that because
Yeah, common.
yeah, Trump didn't make that up, I don't think, but he sure made it. Whatever it is now.
It's really quite frightening. Like, he's a religious zealot, and they just plunge us even further into a dystopian nightmare. And it's oddly and frighteningly prescient. There's also there's an interesting piece in there where her character has what she calls hyper empathy, and so she literally feels other people's pain, and frankly she can feel their pleasure as well. But yeah, and so there are some horrifying things to go along with that, because it's very difficult to defend yourself when you're going to feel whatever you're going to inflict on somebody else, right?
So it claims the Amazon listing for this says that it is young adult fiction zone. What do you think cutoff age should be for a book like this? That's what they're saying. They're saying teen young fiction, 10 to 12th grade. But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with my teenager reading this. So probably any high school age.
Okay.
I think they would be fine, but I certainly wouldn't give it to younger kids than that.
Right.
Because there's some graphic, horrific stuff in here. I mean, it's an apocalypse. It's
what you're supposed to do in apocalypse, yeah.
Right.
Nobody ever had an apocalypse where everybody was all soft and white gloves,
Right.
It's rough business.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called an apocalypse for a reason.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does. It like I say, it's a little hard. It does drag along a little bit at times. There are some conversations. The main character is the narrator, so it's told in the first person, and it sort of reads like her diary. And there are times when she's having conversations with other characters, and she's developed this entire other philosophy, religion, whatever you want to call it. And there are points in the book where she's having a conversation with another character strictly to kind of hit you over the head with her philosophy.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
okay.
it's not, but
It's
there,
not super
there's enough of a
heavy-handed or
compelling
distracting or
story.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was to me, but that's because I have trauma around that, around books that hit you over the head with philosophy. So
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
But
I noticed she's written a bunch of Star Trek novels. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she became a very prolific sci-fi writer. So yeah, but we didn't really have back in the 90s, we didn't have anything we called speculative fiction, but I would definitely put this under that category because there's some science in there because she explains the aspect of hyper empathy in a scientific way, and she's aspiring to get human beings up to the stars, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Like, oh, we've screwed this planet, let's go to another one, that kind of thing. So there's a sci-fi element to it, but I would definitely much more call it speculative fiction because it's like near future apocalypse stuff.
Cool. She wrote Child of Venus. Someone else recommended Child of Venus to me. I'm gonna have to dig deeper into her work because this sounds all like my jam. I like all this stuff you've said. And the darker the better with my apocalypse. So let's do it. Fantastic. Go check this out. Available where all books and audio books are available. And she'll at the end of that read, 8-hour read or whatever, she'll tell you where Carmen San Diego is in the world.
Right? Yeah.
Finally, that question will finally be answered.
You'll finally find out. Amy, it's always good talking to you. I hope you have a fantastic week and throw more pottery and more people out of your chat room who suck.
Right? Yeah, for real. Well, I want to mention real quick before you kick me off. We have a couple more spots for the Tadpool Southeast meetup. So get on in there. Look at if the last time you looked at the sign up, it looked like it was full. We have changed venues slightly, so we have a couple more slots. So come on and join us.
Nice.
Yeah, that new venue looks amazing with the air hockey table, pool table, sit down video game thing. Like, this is gonna be a blast.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be fun. And as Brian just alluded to, we have Brian and his lovely wife Tina coming.
That's right. Yes.
So so come and join us. Have fun. tinyurl.com/SE Tadpool.
Nice. I'm jealous. I'm going to be in Moab being all hot and sweaty, and you guys are going to be playing video games in a cool
We're going to be
in
Asheville being all hot and sweaty.
Yeah, I guess you'll be hot and sweaty either way. We're all going to be hot and sweaty. Maybe a little sweatier where you are, I guess. But anyway, it sounds like a blast. Go check that out. That's on our Discord. If you're not part of it already, frogpants.com/Discord. Amy, have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're running a little late, so we're going to get right to it. Wendy will be here after this, and we'll kick into this week's email, which is going to be fantastic. So stick around for that. But Brian, first, you got to play a little music. I can't just make this thing happen without it.
No, you can't. We need something to ease into the second half of the show. Let's go to Santa Barbara, California for a band called Versus the World. Look, if you like your 90s punk, pop punk, your Blink, your Sum 41, your stuff like that, your Lagwagon, Good Riddance. Actually, this features members of Lagwagon and Good Riddance. They have a brand new album called The Bastards Live Forever. The band is called Versus the World. Here is the single, Going Out for Smokes.
Remember, no cigarette hangover means more smoking pleasure. Yes, for America's finest cigarette.
Billy Brown, the smoothest, coolest guy in town.
right, we've returned. Who the heck was that?
That is a band called Versus the World. Brand new album is called The Bastards Live Forever, and the song is Going Out for Smokes.
That sounds all right. Especially if you're into smoking, Just get out
Especially
there.
if you're into smoking. That album is good if you're a smoker.
Yeah, only if you're a smoker, though. All right? If you don't smoke, forget it.
No, forget it, because that song will make you start, and once you start, you can't
stop.
Wendy,
I mean, random.
not a chance.
Hey, look who it is. My sister, Wendy. She's here. Hi, Wendy. What are you doing?
Hi.
How's life?
Good. Life's good.
It is good. Two things happened this week that were a bit of a miracle. Wendy's technical hang-ups were abound. All right, let me tell you what happened. First of all, she kept trying to send me a picture of her son who looked like Bjorn Borg, and it never happened. It just wouldn't work for some reason. We just couldn't get it to work. And then it worked. So not only did that work, that was great. And then this week's email, which we were sure we had seen, went completely missing, somehow found it again. So everything's coming up Wendy,
Yeah, I'm not losing it is what I take from this.
Yeah, you should. Of course, also a professional therapist, helps people all the time with their problems and comes on Thursdays and helps you with yours. And sometimes ours. Depends,
Often, as it should be.
As it should be. So this thing that you sent me is a beast of a story. It's about five I almost said hours. 5 minutes, 41 seconds long, but worth reading. Now I'm not reading it. I'm having a robot named Sam read it from 11labs.io. We're using an AI today to read this. It'll sound just like an audiobook to people at home. So just be warned, it isn't me or Brian reading this. Wendy, do you want to say anything about it before I start it, or just go?
Oh, it'll explain itself.
All right. It goes places, everybody. Enjoy this.
Dear Wendy, I've been waiting to write in until I was sure I knew enough about the situation. My wife and I have 4 couple friends that have known each other for over 20 years. We're the new couple. The other couples have known each other longer than that. We've raised our kids together, attended the same church together, and have faced our toughest times together. We are 3 AM friends. Until COVID, the men used to meet every other week at a sports bar and grill to hang out, but to mostly check in with each other. We are great friends who actually share our problems, emotions, and solutions. On May 10th, 2021, one of the wives was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer that had spread to her liver at the age of 49. Get your colonoscopies, people. 2 days later, we all brought various flavors of ice cream, shared hugs, and then were told no more crying. 6 days later, they met with the oncologist to discuss plans. 3 days later, they flew to Dallas to watch a Texas Rangers game that they already had planned. They had a great time, took lots of pictures, and began purposely living life. It was a very hard 2 years, but in April, she passed away at home, surrounded by her family, including 4 grandchildren, the youngest of which was born in December. That was a Friday. The following Monday, he wanted to meet with his guys at our usual spot. After talking sports briefly and after some tears, he invited us to join him in Dallas for a couple of games. Wednesday of the same week, we had a celebration of life party for her. My wife put together a great slideshow that played on repeat during the party. There must have been 100 people there. We all spent most of the time telling stories about her that we remembered from the pictures. There were many from their trip to Dallas. A little about him. He's the most black and white, man's man, bootstrap, testosterone, do-it-yourself man I've ever met. He's loyal, faithful, trustworthy, and a drop-everything-to-help-a-friend kind of a guy. 1 week after the party, he was going through her phone and iPad and was looking for a video he started to watch, but stopped because he was looking for photos for the slideshow. The video was gone. There's a lot more to that side story. He figured out how to undelete photos and text messages. There were 2 threads in particular that he wanted to read. The first was with a contact simply named Joy. The other was with her friend since 6th grade. He read through both and found that she'd been communicating with Joy for some time. It was obvious it was a relationship. It was confirmed on her iPad by several explicit photos shared of each other. She had been cheating on him. The text thread with her friend detailed the relationship like 2 giggly middle school girls. The friend was encouraging of the relationship. He figured out that the other guy was her ex-boyfriend from high school. He immediately boxed up everything that was hers. He then drove himself to a therapist and asked if anyone had time to see him. I never thought he would be a therapy person. He told me he knew he could handle her being gone, but he'd lost her twice now and didn't know what to do. He met with all of us and we were naturally shocked. My wife, who suffers from depression and deep empathy, was inconsolable. We've been married 26 years, and I've never seen her that upset. All of us felt betrayed. A few weeks later, and he's been actively working on his double loss. He asked the wives if she had told them anything, any clue that might explain why. They shared that after the diagnosis, she had told them he was difficult to be around because when she would say anything about after she's gone, and so on, he would get angry and accuse her of giving up. She would just shut down and drop it. And that's not like her, so he was feeling like he drove her to the other guy. This last weekend, our men's trip to Dallas came to fruition. We were assuming he would cancel, but he didn't. He's loyal that way. The first day was filled with long overdue laughter, baseball, and sudden tears as he would remember their trip in 2021. Day 2 came and we continued our fun until lunch. That's when he shared the final bomb. It had been nagging him for weeks that he might have driven her away. So, the day before we got on the plane, he figured out how to find all of her Facebook posts going back to May 10th, 2021. It started with the diagnosis post, the ice cream post, the appointment with the doctor, and the trip to Dallas. The diagnosis post contained a hashtag. It was in reference to one of her text messages to her friend. It was a shout-out to the other guy. Day 1, she reached out to him. The text messages lined up with the dates. Also, every single post that contained a picture of my friend and her had that hashtag. It was meant to signify that she was with her husband, but she was thinking of the other guy. He then searched for that hashtag on her page, and it went back to 2008 when she joined. He spent the rest of the day erasing her. During the second game, he was recreating the trip with her, with us. Every picture he took of her, he took with us instead. He has a sleeve tattoo devoted to family. He wants to cover up her section with a black rose. He told me today that the off-again, on-again relationship has been going on for 30 years. They'd been married 32. She would have left him long ago, but he's such a great provider. He's second-guessing every day with her now. My questions are, can erasing her be good? Can you erase someone? Is it healthy? He's continuing therapy weekly, but we have more influence on him than a therapist might. How do we respond? What can we expect next in the grief cycle? He's nothing but anger and pain now. There's so much more to this story. I swear there's more every day. Sorry, it's so long. Even if you don't read this on the show, thanks for letting me get this out. Friend of double loss.
All right, Sam got a little excited there at the end.
I know, it was the most frantic reading of...
yeah, a little much there, robot. But anyway, wow.
But it brought you right in.
That is a hell of a thing. That was just
no kidding. Jeez.
Crazy to me.
Yeah.
So where do you start? What do you want to do?
This is maybe psychologically interesting that I couldn't find it and then just like really hoped it was fake and it was a dream. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I am sure this guy has wished that many, many times. Like, what kind of nightmare you can't seem to wake up from. Yeah. All right. Well, let's start. I'm going to, how sometimes I like to ask you guys questions first. I want to ask both of you because I have a skewed sense of what people do because I hear everything that I would love to know what normal people hear. And so I'm just wondering, is this a familiar story to you at all? Or some version of this? Kind of the
like familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah, meaning like an actual person having gone through something like it.
Not really.
I don't think I do either. Can't think
of one. I mean, I've known a couple people who've been unfaithful to their significant others, and but in all those cases that came out, and they were able to have closure on it, whether it was good closure or bad closure. What sucks in this situation is finding out after the fact. You've got no way to get any further closure on it.
Right.
You can't talk to her about it and say, why are you doing this to me for so long? And my God, that is rough business.
That's really rough. Like the only thing I can compare it to, I don't remember their names, Wendy, but remember Mom and Dad were in a big giant study group, they called it?
Yeah.
But really it was just like...
They all would go hang out and boating together.
Yeah, they go Lake Powell.
Like cousins
they'd spend time at Lake Powell or whatever. And all these couples, and they were all very close. And one of them The wife, I want to say, they both passed, but the wife, I want to say, got like gastric bypass surgery or something.
Yes.
And then after that, just really slimmed down to nothing. And for whatever reason, that became the impetus for her going and cheating on her husband at the time. And I only knew this as a kid. I just remember mom and dad sort of saying stuff about it on the side, but it really stuck with me. And I remember that whole group was kind of decimated by this revelation, right? And I think they ended up working it out. I mean, she came back, and there was a lot of conciliatory moments and stuff, but I don't think the group was ever the same. But my memory is, as far as like anybody, I don't know anyone right now in this situation. I'm sure I do, and I just don't know it. But I don't know anyone overtly at the moment. I mean, I know, like I can't. What I tried to do when I first read this was put myself in this position. Like, how would this be? Because Kim and I married now 30 years last year, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're working on 31, and that'll be this August. August. Don't tell her if I almost forgot that. But anyway, that's a long ass time to be with anybody.
Yeah.
And trying to imagine the shock this would be, especially given the trauma of her passing. Right. Which just adds like this whole other layer. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine
and knowing
this.
that, for 30 of the 32 years that they were married, she was doing this.
Yeah, it would just be, what would you even do? It's like, I don't know how that person, like and part of me is like, man, he went straight to therapy. That seems really smart. Almost like an emergency ER therapy visit.
Yeah, who do you got? I need it this minute.
Yeah,
exactly.
which I think
probably
is... go ahead.
Definitely the right thing. Like, basically, who knows what kind of spiral he would have gone into, discovering, because it's like one of these movie thrillers where the detective is uncovering all of this data piece by piece about this person, unfolding the life of this person that everyone thought they knew, and it's a completely different person on the other side. It's,
just wild.
And you probably feel a little. Not skeevy, but a little like, oh, should I be looking at her text? Should I be looking at her Facebook posts? But I think in a case like this, once you get the initial thing, it's like, all right, well, I've gone this far. Let's see how deep the rabbit hole goes.
I'm not sure my loyalty means that much anymore.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's okay. I just wanted to check, because I swear to you, within the week of this email, good friend of mine said, hey, any advice? My brother's wife of 30 years, he just found out was cheating. I'm like, what? Was I dreaming this? Like, I still feel like I'm not. And so that's like a real person in my life. And then, clients are real people too, but I've known of many things. And so I sometimes think my brain's skewed, and I'm pretty sure 99% of everyone's doing something secretly that they really shouldn't. And some of that is, we've talked about Jungian psychology before a little bit, and kind of the shadow idea, right? That you are hiding something, and often it's unconscious, or can be. Sometimes there's obviously very conscious things you're hiding. And so I do think that's probably not untrue for all of us, to have some things we just are not fully forthright about, or even available to us psychologically in any kind of healthy way. So fair enough. But however, I'm reading this email just thinking, oh, there's so much grief here. There's so much need to process, and time.
Layers of grief, right? Like
layers and layers.
Because it's like they said, he didn't lose her once; he lost her twice, basically.
And then everything, and then he lost the life he thought he knew. It's like taking the whatever pill, and you're in the Matrix, and you're like left to figure this out, how to actually operate in a very new reality.
You're just like me. You never remember which pill is the one that
I know.
I never do. It does, like people.
Blue pill's the good one.
Yeah, blue pill
takes you out of the Matrix.
So wait, blue pill makes you be just a person, and you forgot about the Matrix, right? Is that the deal?
No, I thought blue person. The blue person is a smart. No, I thought the blue pill is the one you want to take. The red pill keeps you. Oh no, it is the other way around, isn't it? Red pill takes you out of the Matrix. You find out you see how deep the rabbit hole goes, basically.
Gotcha. Or it puts you in the Matrix so that you fully understand the Matrix if you take the red pill.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right.
And
See,
also, let's
I'll
just
forget
point
this
out
tomorrow.
a classic age-related thing here, which is, this couple, if they've been married 30 years, they are old enough to not have had technology, and then suddenly everything they've done since has been recorded, right? And publicly posting that and putting that hashtag, and like that is ouch, right?
That
like
hashtag exactly like this kind of like your arm around one person, but you're holding hands with somebody else on the slide.
Yes. And of course,
as hell.
It's a very childish adolescent behavior, right? Like, I'm gonna stay with the rich guy and I'll just make this work, and but I'm flirting with, it's because it's sort of a developmental stuckness with the high school boyfriend. So when we moved to Sweden, I don't know if I've ever shared this story, but it is very applicable to this 2008 moment of where Facebook kind of became fully available in the zeitgeist, right? Everyone had accounts and everyone was using it. And at that point, I had 5 couples I was working with around 2008, and all of them, all 5, had one partner having an affair through Facebook, which I don't think I've had a couple since have an affair through Facebook, but there was just something about that moment. And if I think back to it, it was like one was an old college boyfriend. The other was an old college girlfriend. The other one was someone they met on Facebook. Another one was reconnecting with, someone from their early 20s right. And so it was just happening anyway. And they also all had a 42-year-old in the couple. So somebody was cheating and somebody was 42 in each of these couples.
Weird parallels to
and I was 32 at the time, and I was like, what the crap happens at 42? It just freaked me out. And that's when we decided to move to Sweden. We're like, we got to get out of here. But it was a little bit of like, what is happening to these people? And you have a couple things that do happen. Go ahead.
You mentioned not having the situation via Facebook, like the cheating via Facebook, but I'm sure tons of issues where somebody's having an emotional affair via text or some other messaging. Yeah.
But this seems so classic their age to me. Like, oh yeah, of course this was you guys. And to do it that way and to keep posting your,
hashtag,
and no one is going to be surprised when I talk about how much I hate Facebook, but I feel like it is become this. It is an operating communication device to do your weird business too, right? So I'm posting all the time so you can see me on these whatever vacations, but I'm secretly hashtagging my old boyfriend. It's just
there's you never hear about. It's almost 100% of the time that I hear about an emotional, even just a basic sort of emotional affair.
Yeah,
it's always via Facebook. Always.
I know.
Like,
because that's the tool you use to see if that that ex-boyfriend, that high school sweetheart is still around. And
it's not classmates.com like they thought it would be.
Friendster.
Friendster.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so let's go to what practical advice we can apply here. And I did love the voice because it made me feel even more
like somebody
worried about this
announcing
family.
a sports game.
Yeah, totally. But just the couple things that are already in place that are awesome. First of all, driving himself to get help immediately. Good for him. Yeah. Also, it sounds like this long-term group of friends that have real conversations. Like, that is such an incredibly beneficial factor in his life. And so my advice to that group of friends is, like, there is nothing more important than them doing what they've always done, which is being consistent, being there, being willing to talk about whatever needs to be talked about. The thing I would advise, because, and maybe this isn't even their problem, but this is very common, which is sometimes you get sick of hearing someone talk about the same thing, right? Sometimes you have a hard time not giving solutions and just listening. So just some core basic, recognize it took 30 years to build this nightmare, and it's going to take not just a year to get over it. right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to take some time. So that on repeat, you should expect and do your best not to be annoyed with, and recognize that this process may be slow. This person's already getting professional help. And so your job is not to be the therapist. Your job is to encourage the growth that will come from therapy. But you're always there. So this friend, when she asked me what her advice was, in this moment, you're furious at your sister-in-law who has been a part of your life for 30 years, hurting your brother. And all you want to do is kick her in the face, right? Like, you get it. But what happens is time goes on and people will sometimes repair these things. And now you have already made yourself an enemy and maybe lost influence because you joined your brother's anger situation, and then he's forgiven her and they try again. And now you've got all the betrayal it feels like maybe you feel because you joined a side. And that is so hard, right? We are built to do this. We are built to rally the side that we're related to usually, and hate on whoever the person they want us to hate on, and involve ourselves that way. And that can be tempting, I think, for this group to maybe be really harsh towards her.
Yeah.
Because he may want you to, and you can be supportive without having to then push yourself way far past a line. So when he heals and it's no longer a problem, now you are furious. And everyone deserves their own feelings about that. That's not what I'm getting at. It's more like in your efforts to support, it's hard to be neutral and supportive. Maybe neutral to slightly to that person's side is a great place to be, and just care. How are you? What can I do for you? Give him the space to talk about it. All of those things can be really important.
Does his friend group need to worry about trust issues with them? Now that he's thought this one stable relationship in his life for 30 years or 32 years was completely a sham. Do they need to worry, like, how do they not convince him, but just reassure him that, hey, we are someone you can trust. We know you had this crap going on that you just discovered, but we've always, and we will continue to always be truthful to you, and will always be, and
that would be like a very proactive form of what is as generally thought of as being stable, right? Like you're still meeting with him, you're still stable, you're still encouraging. If you feel like you need to say that, but really I would sort of offer this as maybe a global piece of advice, is to follow the person's lead. If you hear him actively wondering about other people, you can ask, do you want us to talk about this with how, what, because again, when you've been deceived that thoroughly, it may not extend to anyone else. It may extend to everyone else. Like it's kind of hard to know. So you really need to follow their lead. I mean, they've got children and grandchildren, right? So he's got all these people who just lost their mother and grandmother. And they didn't say if everyone is aware of the cheating.
Yeah. What do you think on that? Like, do you, let's say they're currently not, my inclination would be just, let's not, she's destroyed my opinion of her. There's no reason for me to do that same thing. Although they're going to wonder why all of a sudden he's got a black rose on his arm covering, where her name used to be, or her.
There are going to be questions for sure. Yeah.
And she's been eliminated from any.
He's been erased.
I have a feeling they know.
Yeah.
Or at least the adults.
Or at least
know.
they will know once they see. All right, why are you boxing up all of her stuff so quickly, and why have you taken all of her photographs and X'd her face out? And
right, and that is very difficult. So let's just assume they already know. The best thing he can do is keep talking to the therapist and his friends about those things, and not keep the burden on those kids, because they already have the burden of knowing their mom has been unfaithful to their dad for 30 years and then died, and they can't talk to her either, right? So the double loss, right, is triple loss, right? And is maybe more accurate. And everyone is feeling it in all different ways. Families handle everything the way a family handles everything, right? So you take any family I always think of it as sort of like the flavor or the brand, the family brand. Like, how do you handle trauma? How do you handle grief? What does the family do? Do they gather? Do they isolate? Do they spread apart? Do they get closer? Do they talk? Do they not talk? And you kind of have whatever is going on there is outside of their realm as friends, but that's happening, whatever that is. And so even being a safe place to Matt, help him talk through, you know, how the family is responding. And so your openness and lack of like harsh judgment just means that all the things can be processed. And that's why a therapist works, is the therapist is not, it doesn't have a dual relationship here. Right. They're just going to listen and ask questions and be open and curious and there for the long haul, as opposed to sometimes family and friends are like, are we done? Because grief, at least the way Americans often, it's like, it's got a time limit. You have to be back at work in 4 days. You know what I mean? Like we don't have this built in very well. And so this kind of painful, jagged wound is really different than just my wife died of cancer and, you know, we have an annual little party to celebrate her life. Right. Like that is what would have probably happened. There would have been group support and honoring her, and no one would have ever known. And that's probably what she intended. And thought she knew technology better than she did, obviously, right?
Right.
You take a Gen Zer and say, hey, try this. They're like, no, we know all the ways this works.
Yeah.
And so that maybe, you know, would never happen that way. But it is so complicated and so tricky. So I would just recommend the friends do the support for one another as they support him too.
Yeah.
That you're just making sure everyone's kind of okay. And think of it as a marathon. This is going to take a while, but I don't see any. There are no like, oh no, you got to intervene or say this or that or you know, it sounds like a terrible experience for a fairly healthy group of people, and that's a lot more than I can say for lots of things.
Oh yeah, like that's my big takeaway from this is he's got this crazy good support system that honestly I don't feel like a lot of people have. A lot of people maybe even lost during the pandemic. Like this is just not common to have that level based on what we know about it. So that already is a huge deal, I think, for him.
Yeah, what a gift.
Yeah, that's a huge gift.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Healing means another life.
Mm-hmm.
Not healing means having the last 30 years torture him for the next 30 years.
Right.
And that is, you can't speed up healing any faster than it will be. But that can be your goal and your hope as his friends. Because he can have another 30 years of life, a whole different life.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to believe and feel in the middle of any of this. But that's in the end, the outcome that is very much possible. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, this is rough stuff. If the listener who sent this in wants to share this audio with your friend, I think that'd be a good thing, maybe. Obviously, let them choose to or not, but
right.
I think it might be helpful. I hope it is anyway. And then also, I hope it's helpful to the friend, because this is secondary. It's not the same level, but it's secondary trauma for a friend to have to deal with their friend dealing with this, especially the close knit group they got going.
Yeah, like his wife's response was appropriate, right? That level is just, how do you, because of course she was lying to her.
Yeah. All of them.
And that is really difficult. I mean, I know I've mentioned this before on the show, but just that podcast about funeral homes and how they have an after a training for all funeral home directors called After Hours. And it's basically, how do you do the second viewing or funeral after the doors are closed for the second secret family, or the, there's a child that no one knows about, or there's, and this is how DNA has really messed with a lot of people's long-term plans of no one will ever know.
Mm-hmm.
And, we could maybe take a whole hour and talk about different, like why the brain, why a human being emotionally would deceive in these ways, and what it serves, what it doesn't serve, and kind of, that whole dynamic. Because this is not the first, will not be the last version of this. But also just the reality of how many burdens people are carrying around that they don't need to. But it's terrifying, right?
Yeah.
It's terrifying to fess up, face the truth, pay the consequences. You know, all those things, like when we're teaching a little kid not to lie and we take them back to the store or steal, and we take them back to the store and make them make it right. You're giving them practice in the freedom of honesty or openness gives you, and take away the burden of secrecy and the burden of lying and the burden of, and every human being is built to lie, right? So every one of us has some experience with this or will have. And some people will, you know, go to the grave with those lies, and others find that they can be honest and stop pretending and live more authentically. But usually you need some help doing that. So maybe as a kid, you need your parents' help to help you do that. And maybe as an adult, you need some safe people to help you do that. So, I mean, that's maybe a whole nother thing, but it is, you know, trying to understand her is maybe not where he's at the moment. Maybe never will be.
There's maybe no end game to that, because the person that most needs to answer for the crimes of it all is not here anymore.
Exactly. And that is really tricky when I do any work with anyone about, you know, maybe a loved one that's passed that abused them or was harmful in significant ways. Like, grieving someone who's gone is both easier and way harder, because it is one-sided. And so finding peace and some sort of help that way he's on the right track to do that. It's just going to take some time.
Yep. Well, let us know how it goes, and I hope this group gets to stay tight and together.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That seems important. Wendy, always good as usual. Realsteps.org is a great place to go visit and see what that's all about. So when the next bunch of openings happen, maybe you can sneak in there and be a part of it.
That's right.
Read all about it. Anything else you want to mention this week?
Hot. Summer's here. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Summer
The time
business.
is right.
Woo! No more weird snow. Although we still have a ton of snow in the mountains, and we're still expecting flooding. So it's kind of gonna be a weird.
Right, like
June.
it's slow. Oh, this is so cool. My friend's daughter just got an internship at the Salt Lake Tribune, and she had her first published name on the byline, and it was all about flooding in Sandy.
Nice.
I was like, that's so funny.
Wow, that takes me back. That's awesome.
It does. It's very cute. And, you know, I learned a few things reading it. I was like, oh, so the cloud cover up there keeps, obviously, the temperature from being, you know, the direct sun's a problem. And so your snow melts a little slower, which is good. But, man, that's not going to last.
No,
you guys
it's
are
not.
going to roast hot soon.
It's going to get real hot. It's already warming up pretty good today. Here's the thing, though. I remember, like yesterday, going to church in 1983. We're all kids, right? And we just got there. Everybody sat down. Bishop gets up, goes up to the microphone and says, everybody go home and change into your grubbies. We're doing sandbags today. And I never forgot it. Because I was like, sweet. I don't have to be at church. I can go do this thing, which is mostly water and sand. And I'm in my grubbies. Yeah. Oh, it was the best thing ever. I freaking loved it. But
By
it was,
the way,
you know.
Is grubbies regional? Because I have not heard that word since 1983.
Yeah,
I know what it means, you know,
but you wouldn't
context. But I don't think I would use that phrase like go put on your work clothes, or not your work clothes, but put on your.
It never left me. I still do grubbies. I don't know why.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Kim's like, we gotta
might be regional.
Kim's like, we gotta fix the sprinkler. Get your grubbies. That's how it goes.
I remember being on State Street with all the sandbags and watching people boat down it and just being like, I mean, I was 7, 8 years old going, there's a river on a street.
Yeah.
It was
crazy. I
remember,
don't know if you remember, but Matt tried to run across it because he thought he could, and he got caught up in it and flowed down like a block or something like that. We were all worried about him for a hot minute.
I do not remember that.
That was one of my strongest memories of that whole event.
We've
my
lost
idiot
Matt.
brother. Yeah, no more Matt. All right. Well, have a good one. And my best to your young Bjorn Borg son, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.
All right.
Her oldest is getting graduated, and he is a beast. I don't know what happened. Last time I saw Abraham, Abe was like a skinny, gangly, looked like me in high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got the Sniff Of Weights, and now is this big freaking he's a beast now.
Nice. It's like when you first see those pictures of Nanjani, what's his face from
Eternals. Yeah.
Nanjani from from Silicon Valley. It's like, oh, dude, holy cow, where'd this come from?
He buffed right up. Did he? So I still haven't seen Eternals. Did he? Was it for that movie he got all buffed up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Couldn't remember what the deal
Yeah, I
was
think
there.
that'll have to be a future Couch Party 2-parter.
Yeah, I need to see. I started that movie. I almost said famously, but I haven't really told anyone. I started that movie on a night where I was just beat and I conked out and missed the whole thing. So
It is. Yeah. I mean, it's not a fast mover. The opening parts can be, but the stuff with the whatchamacallits showing up the first time and fighting in London and that sort of thing. But yeah.
Well, I like Zoe.
Yeah, that whole cheating thing. Let me tell you. Number one reason, obviously, I wouldn't cheat is Tina. Number two reason I obviously wouldn't cheat is having my family find out. But I'll say the number three reason is having the tadpole find out and like.
Oh yeah.
I could not.
Can
face
you imagine?
the tadpole?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
The heat it would generate.
Yeah, exactly.
It just seems so foreign to me. I just don't understand it. And I'm not. This is no judgment toward anybody who's struggled with anything. I just don't. I personally don't get it. I don't understand how it works. I guess. Like to me, it's just. I've said on the show before. I've had listeners have sent naked photos to me before, and the first thought isn't.
That was a mistake.
I know. Yours I forgave, but when I get those,
but you should have seen how I pressed that send button.
When I got one of them, I don't remember which one it was. I remember going. At the time, I don't know what other people's reactions are. Are they to go, ooh, a secret little thing I can do on the side or something?
Yeah, no, yeah.
I went, Cam, get in here before this disappears. It's on Snapchat. It's only going to be here for 7 seconds. And I'm literally on the toilet, and she comes bursting in there. What is it? Look, check it out. Somebody sent me now. Ah, it's gone. Dang it. Well, she had red hair, I think, and I don't know. Anyway.
Well, she might have had red hair on her head, but we don't know.
No, that's all I meant. It wasn't anything weird like that. But like those things happen, and my thought is, where's Kim? She'll laugh at this. Not secrety. Like I just don't understand it. But anyway, whatever. Good luck to that person, and let us know how things go with your friend.
For sure. Jeez.
I'm very hopeful for all of you. All right, let's move on and out of here real quick. We got some shows upcoming. Coverville today at 1. What are you covering today? What are you doing?
Right, Prince would have turned 65 next week, and I always love every 5 years getting to do a Prince milestone birthday show because people keep covering Prince and putting out these amazing covers of Prince songs. They're some of the easiest shows to put together, and they're some of the best because it's all such great stuff. So of course, covers of things like Sign of the Times, When Doves Cry, Delirious, Purple Rain, Kiss, I Would Die for You, When You Were Mine, Little Red Corvette. I mean, all this stuff. Coming up today, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville, and of course playing Marvel Snap during the whole thing, maybe even playing against people. What I should do, because the Marvel Snap competition, friendly competition, has its problems. You're basically playing with the same deck against the same person over and over and over again, and if your opponent has this deck that your deck is just completely useless against, I'm talking to you, Red Fraggle.
Right.
You're basically just like watching yourself circle the drain in cubes. They should do it, and I think I've said this a million times somewhere, is you come up with 4 decks. It cycles through those 4 decks for each game. So game 1, you're playing deck 1 against their deck 1. Game 2, you're playing your deck 2 against their deck 2, etc. So that's like, oh, wow, okay, now you're doing a move deck, or now you're doing a destroy deck. Awesome. Oh, this kind of works, and blah, blah, blah. But
sure.
Red Fraggle brings out her damn Galactus and is like, I don't have, and this is the deck I have that doesn't have any cards that I can send over to the other side to block her Galactus.
Yeah. And it's hard, right? Because now you're making a show. It's
exactly
a different thing.
So I could easily say, all right, we're going to play 1 round, winner take all kind of thing. And then we'll stop after that game's over. We'll pick different decks and we'll play different decks against each other and that sort of thing. And that way it feels like it'd be a lot more fun
Right. Yeah.
And basically keep track of the 10 cubes and how many you've lost at each time, so you can just manually do it.
Sure. I do love that you have this thing to do during songs, though. There's something cool about that.
Because what else am I going to do? It's people watching me sit there.
Right.
On show notes.
It's a weird live stream problem. Because it's not like a normal live stream where you're always either saying something or showing something or whatever. Instead, it's like, I got to fill this time with something.
And listen, people are saying, oh my God, this song is great, or this song takes me back, or whatever. It's not like I ignore the chat. It's like while I'm playing, it's like, oh yeah, good. Yeah, this song, was actually not even originally his, and he did this for somebody else, and blah, blah, blah. So it's so much fun as a side thing. Works out perfectly. Little 2-3 minute games. I can see the end of the songs coming, and I'm going to have to do a back announce. It's like, great, we're not going to start up a new game because I got time.
Yep. Well done, Marvel and Second Breakfast.
Claire.
What, you ignore Claire? Is she in
Claire
there sometimes?
says you always ignore me, Brian. I don't.
Does she play as well? Is she playing Little Snap?
I don't know if she plays. I don't think she plays Marvel Snap, but I think in chat she probably thinks I ignore and I don't.
Well, she thinks that of all of us while she's in there.
She does. And boy, did I surprise her right now by not ignoring her "you always ignore me" Brian message.
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah. What are you? Attention.com over there, Claire? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Let's get to this. Oh, also, Core usually is on Thursday nights, but Core is not happening tonight. Core is happening Friday night. And you might be wondering, well, why did someone have a schedule mix-up? Was there a problem? Was someone traveling? No.
Oh, so many, yeah. Right.
None of that.
Nobody's wondering that at all.
No. Today at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, the time we start Core normally on Thursday, is right when Diablo 4 becomes playable in my time zone. I didn't make this decision, though. This was mostly Bo because he really wants the day. He's taking time off work and everything else. I think he's going to go for that hardcore thing where his name, they'll etch your name into the statue of Lilith in town. If you
get it fast enough, you get to the
you get there fast enough. I think you hit 100, you can't die. I can't remember what the whole deal is. Anyway, it's a whole thing, and I think he's going to go for it. He's been recruiting people in our Discord to do it with him. I can't commit because there's no way. I just can't commit that kind of time. But anyway, I'm going to be playing that instead. So tonight I'll be streaming. There's already a pre-scheduled stream up there for it. I'll be streaming D4 tonight in place of the show starting at 5 p.m. We'll all be streaming it from different places. So just
right, yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
And I'd even be fine if you want for Couch Party tomorrow for me to do a Bo thing where I watch you play and talk while you're playing it, because I'd love to see. I know I've got it coming, and it'll be downloading to my BattleNet as well.
Sure,
but
you can preload as of yesterday. I think you can preload. Yeah, I did.
But it'd be kind of fun, if you want to play, and I'll do the John thing, and chat with you while you're playing it. You can talk about what you're doing and stuff. I'd totally be okay with that.
Show it's at 5. You're around. Let's do it. That'd
be
great.
No, I'm talking about Couch Party tomorrow.
Oh, Couch Party. Oh, we can totally do that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be gone the next.
I'm gonna miss the next 2 couch parties.
Right. We're breaking out Golden Girls for the next 2 weeks. So Brian doing that tomorrow. I was like, why don't we do that? That sounds like fun.
That'd be fun. That'd be a blast. I certainly don't mind.
Claire doesn't want to watch that in all caps. Listen, Claire.
Yeah, I'll ignore her.
We do what we want to do. That's fun. Okay. Film Sack also this weekend. Patriot Games.
Yeah.
Get your Patriot Games on.
Watched it last night.
Yeah.
There are parts of it that hold up really well. There are parts of it that don't.
Does that have that That'll Do Pig guy in it? Isn't he in there?
No Cromwell in this one.
Okay, that's
but you've got all your Star Wars people. Your Han Solo, Mace Windu, Darth Vader.
That's right. I forgot how much of that, how much Star Wars crossover there is.
And it's all against the Irish. Boy, dude, does that movie hate Irish people? Oh my God!
Especially Sean Bean or Sean, not Bean. Sean Bean. That's all right. Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. It really is Sean Bean.
I'm sure Claire will have opinions. What else?
I'm sure she will.
Skim this weekend, Couch Party, like we said tomorrow. But I really like that idea, so I think we'll do that. I like it. And that way, we actually do that out in public. We don't have to hide it behind the Discord, so we'll do that everywhere. We'll just make a big stream out of it. It'll be fun.
Okay, cool.
What else? That's it. Patreon.com/TMS. Boy, howdy, it's the first, literally June 1st. What a time to be alive and what a time to join us. For some reason, the podcast across the Frog Pants Network had a 20% jump in May in total listeners, and I don't know why. I can't figure it out other than it coincided with the YouTube switch, and maybe that had some knock-on effect. I don't know, because they're separate. Audio and video are like not together.
Weird.
Really? So I don't know why that happened, but be a part of that surge by joining us at patreon.com/TMS and make Brian and I do cooler stuff than we already do. There's already a ton of cool stuff, but you want more? Great. Get in there. Patreon.com/TMS. No commercials ever. Pre-show content every day. Art in the mail. Other monthly benefits. Those couch parties we mentioned. All that stuff.
Yeah,
Sign up today.
and I've actually gone into our Patreon and added a new tier level for $5 a month. Leg check.
Yep, leg check. You guys want
Every
leg
episode.
check?
Yeah.
Yep. I'll do a boob check because I got them. I got boobs. That's it for the show. We're done. Let's get out of here. Hey, I need music. Do you have some?
I do have some.
Great.
This is going to be so short and sweet. You're going to love it, but get your little birthday sounder ready.
All right.
Justin O'Brien says, for my birthday, I want to say thanks for the whole Frog Pants family and Tadpool community.
Let's party!
Nice. Did he even request a song, or was it just that?
He did.
Okay.
In the request field, he put anything by Me First in the Gimme Gimmes. Like, he's one of the best people. Just say, hey, here, your choice, Brian. Pick something that you like, and let's do it.
Love it.
Because I don't have a cover of this for today's show, and Me First in the Gimme Gimmes happened to do one. A cover of Nothing Compares to You, a song that Prince wrote for a band that he was producing called The Family. That went nowhere. That version went nowhere. Sinead O'Connor said, "Hi, I'd love to do a copy of it if you'd let me. Let me tear up this picture of the Pope.
The stupid Pope, he sucks.
Fight the real enemy. Okay, let me do your song now." Anyway, and so she did a cover of it. Of course, became a massive, massive hit for her.
Yeah.
This is Me First in the Gimme Gimmes version of the song. Here is Nothing Compares to You from their 2003 album, Me First in the Gimme Gimmes. Take a break.
All right. We'll see you guys all on Monday.
If you like what you just heard, there's a very good chance you will like all the shows on the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Sometimes Andy becomes lazy and uses a foot.
Oh, well, don't tell us how. We don't want to know.